Construction workers at the SK Battery America plant in Jackson County complained to OSHA that contractors on the site are ignoring safety concerns in order to finish the job on schedule.
This follows complaints from others about workers brought in from overseas to fill construction jobs critics say Americans should be doing. Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis has the latest.
SK Battery created this checkpoint following a Fox 5 I-Team investigation into who's really building the multi-billion-dollar plant in Jackson County. The company says foreign workers are now required to show passports and proof they can legally work here.
Your story actually brought a lot of change up there. A lot of the Korean workers didn't even report to work.
SK Battery is a Korean-owned company that landed $300 million in tax breaks and free land to locate the electric car battery plant in Georgia. They promise more than 2,000 good jobs when it opens in 2022. But when we watched the various contractors at the job site last month, most of the construction workers were from overseas, doing jobs that union leaders say unemployed American pipe fitters or electricians could easily handle.
All I hear is 2,000 jobs. Did the construction industry not matter? The average common man that works with his hands?
In May, Customs says it caught 33 Koreans trying to get into the country with fake papers to work at the battery plant. SK Battery says it's hired 1,000 Americans to build the plant so far and told its contractors from the start to place a priority on hiring local American workers. But Kimel Brantley says he saw Koreans repeatedly hired instead.
Were you surprised to see so many Koreans doing those basic construction jobs?
Yeah, they got a bunch of guys there that, need jobs. They probably, for what I would do for $6,000 a month, maybe they'll do for $2,000,
So it's a matter of money.
It's a matter of money.
Brantley worked as a safety officer for one of the big contractors on the site, Eastern Corporation. Later, he took a safety officer job for subcontractor MiDong. Half Korean himself, Brantley says he tried to stress safety on the job site, but because he couldn't speak Korean, his advice went nowhere. And he says he got no support from his bosses.
They're sacrificing people's safety for production.
This month, Brantley filed a complaint with OSHA, writing he had witnessed many workers exposed to fall hazards and general safety hazards. But instead, the companies decided to risk this activity so that production would stay on track for 2022 completion. He also pointed out the majority of the employees are Korean nationals and Latino workers who have showed a lack of understanding of American safety standards. An Eastern spokesman said, quote, they can't imagine Mr. Brantley's comment being true because it goes against Eastern's strict safety policy regardless of project schedule. Safety matters, he says, are their first and foremost priority. We reached out to MiDong, the other contractor, but did not hear back. In June, OSHA fined another SK Battery subcontractor $6,000 for a scissors lift accident that sent a worker to the hospital. Jackson County EMS says they've responded to 4 emergency calls at the site since April, transporting 2 workers, but none with life-threatening injuries.
They turn a blind eye to the safety in order to get something done.
Randy Gregory took these pictures last week of other safety concerns he says he noticed, including a worker driving a forklift onto a platform suspended by a crane 30 feet above the ground. These pictures are now part of a second OSHA complaint about overall safety on the job site, this one filed by the union.
What's the worst that could happen in a situation like that?
The slings break and that platform come down with that guy on the forklift on it.
Gregory doesn't work for that contractor. We talked to him from the job site during his lunch break.
It's a wonder if somebody had been killed already.
When it comes to safety, how does this job site compare to the other ones?
I would say that it is probably one of the worst that I've been on. That's my biggest concern, is making sure that we don't get caught up in the middle of something stupid that they're doing.
Eastern had no comment on those photos, insisting they regularly train their people to make sure they've got a safe work environment. But what happens when one of those safety officers tells the government that work environment is anything but safe? In Commerce, Randy Travis, Fox 5 News.